Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always so much fun. You know, we've got an announcement for you, and AP, you're the first one to hear it. Classic Country, that's WZLA, located in Abbeville, South Carolina, is carrying the show now on Saturdays. So we've got a time slot for 9 a.m. You can find them on the dial in Abbeville at 92.9. You can also find them on the internet as well. But anyway, thank you so much for letting me be part of your team. I definitely appreciate that, guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. And again, thank you so much for letting us be part of your world. You can also find us on the podcast at thenewscasters.com, and you can find us on all the social media sites as well. Continue sending emails, Donna at donnasedge.com. That's Donna at donnasedge.com. Again, thank you so much because I just love hearing from you. It makes my day, and you're not bothering me one little bit. You continue sending emails. I have everybody's favorite sports talk show host. His name is AP Stedham. He is with he has his own talk show as well. But I'm going to have to tell you what, AP, let's go ahead and start with the biggest question out there from our listeners and watchers this week is this, and it's the Auburn game. The officials not calling some of the things that happened. What have you got to say about that?
Yeah, Donna, I would start off by saying that sometimes the officials, they do miss a call on the plays that are not reviewable. Now, the one specific call that what caught my attention was when the Oklahoma player was leaving the field and he walked right to the edge of the yard line, out of bounds, and stayed on the field. They snapped the ball and they threw a touchdown pass. Auburn was not guarding him because it looked like he was intentionally moving towards the sideline to be substituted. Now, I was told that they had a meeting this summer or this past months to discuss that type of play where you can't deceive the other team by pretending that you're walking off the field and you're going to be substituted. So, but Oklahoma ran that play. The officials did not make that call. That should have been a call. They should have been flagged for trying to deceive the other team in the substitution of the player. And there was a touchdown, and that's the margin of victory. So they apologized. The league apologized, saying that the officials missed that call. But if I was a commissioner, since we had a specific discussion about this type of play, I would suspend the head coach because we made it known specifically that we don't want to deceive our opponents during the substitution pattern, and they ran it anyway, and they scored a touchdown and it ended up being the margin of victory. So I would definitely suspend the head coach one game, something. I would do something, fine the school, something. I'd probably suspend the coach and fine the school. I would do both.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was another call too everybody's talking about, and this pertains also to the Auburn game, and that's where the Auburn guy, the ball was being thrown to him, had his arms up ready, and another player, the opposite team, was holding him.
Right.
So that wasn't caught either.
Right. And sometimes the official, as I say, they do miss the call when they're retreating and trying to keep up with those fast wide receivers. Their head might be turned in the wrong direction and they miss the call, but they're supposed to have help from the other officials if they're watching the play as well. The ball is in the air, and when they're watching the play, even though the official is right there next to the wide receiver and defensive back, maybe he wasn't in the right position. The other officials are supposed to see if they can make the call as well. So it was a play that was missed and it was not reviewable, so you have to move on. It's a mistake.
Well, what I find interesting about this whole thing is normally, now I'm married to an Alabama fan. I'm an Auburn fan. Normally, an Alabama fan is going to go, stop whining, like that. But even the Alabama fans are a little upset about this.
Right. Well, Donna, my feeling has always been if you're rooting against the other team, you want it to be called fairly because you don't want them to call that against your team.
Right.
I mean, there's self-interest involved. Mm-hmm. We want to have officials that can see all the calls because we don't want it perpetrated on our team. So that's what I would say about a fan from an opposing team also agreeing with the complaint about the official missing the call.
I didn't even catch that when Phil caught it. And he said, "Whoa." Like, and I'm like, "You mean you're
Right.
taking up for me?" I mean, I took it personally. Like, okay, so you're taking, but that's true because you think about, if it was done to them, it could be done to my team too.
That's right. That there's a self-interest involved when you're watching these officials and they're calling the game. And there's a human element. There's some things that they miss. And that's in the equation of the game. That's part of the game, as they say. That happens. And you can't look back. You can't review that play, and you have to move on, whether it's for you or against you. You have to play on.
Otherwise, with the rest of the game, how would you fare Auburn as playing that game?
Yeah, they had trouble blocking for the quarterback down. There was a record-setting for Oklahoma 10 sacks, and the last sack was a 2-point safety for Jackson Arnold, the former Oklahoma quarterback who transferred to Auburn. So Auburn had trouble all day protecting their quarterback, and I think part of that, Don, to some degree, it's all not just the offensive line and the blocking. The quarterback has to get rid of the ball in a timely fashion, and the coaching staff must assist the quarterback in finding ways where they can get him maybe outside the pocket and throw a quick pass, so he's not getting an avalanche of defensive players tackling him. So it's a combination of players, the quarterback, the offensive line, the pass protection scheme, the coaching staff. So they're going to have a lot to review. So make sure that doesn't happen in the next few ball games. But the quarterback, he must know that in this game, my offensive line is having trouble. So I've got to get rid of the ball. I've got to give my player, the offensive player, a chance to make a catch. If I'm holding the ball, there's zero chance to make a catch. So I have to get rid of the ball in a timely manner.
Well, we had ball games playing this past weekend too. What do you say? What was the most interesting one? Which was a surprise?
I would say one of the games I was looking at also was the Missouri was hosting South Carolina. That's the two Columbias down in Columbia, South Carolina, Columbia, Missouri. But South Carolina had a lead on them, and but Missouri prevailed 29. They beat them. I think that final score is 29-20, I believe it was. But anyway, I was looking at that ball game. I know that Lenora Sellers was coming back from the injury, and he was able to compete, and they did a pretty good job most of the ball game, but Missouri was too strong in the end. It ended up being 29-20. So Missouri ends up 4-0. South Carolina right now is 2-2, the 0-2 in the conference. So, and they have a lot of difficult games ahead of them, South Carolina. So they have to regroup and try to come out with some wins, because they've already got 2 losses in the conference. You only play 8 games in the conference, and that's already 2 losses. So I would say that Missouri South Carolina game, and that's become kind of a rivalry, I think, because of the 2 schools being in Columbia, Columbia, Missouri, and Columbia, South Carolina. So I think that's created a little bit of a rivalry for those schools. But the big game was, of course, the Auburn Oklahoma game, and also that Florida had to take out Miami, and they ended up losing that game. Florida's offense is struggling. And they weren't able to win that game, and they weren't able to put up enough points. So Florida, they've got to get something going offensively. I think there's so much pressure on them now defensively, because their offense, it's 3 and out, and they're not moving the ball, so the defense is always on the field. So that wears on you game after game down. By the middle of the season, your defense is wore out, and they're more susceptible to giving up points. It's not that they have a bad defense; it's just physically that they've been on the field too long. And but there's another game we could discuss also. It was a big upset, pretty good, pretty fair upset, was Arkansas and Memphis. Arkansas played at Memphis. Arkansas was moving in to either kick the field goal for the winning points, they were down by a point, or score a touchdown. And on the 5-yard line, they ran into the middle of the line, and the running back fumbled the football, which was dramatic and a big negative. But now they still had a chance to get the ball back. And on third down, they had a substitute quarterback, and it was maybe 3rd and 6 or 7, something like that. And they had him tackled, and he ran. He just carried everybody about 5 yards to a first down, and that was the end of the ball game because Arkansas didn't have any more timeouts. But I just found it unbelievable that Arkansas again dropped the ball at the end, made that fumble, and when they were going in for the winning points, and then on top of that, they let the second string quarterback. It could have been the first string, but he just carried everybody 5 or 6 yards, and they had a big 300-pound lineman hanging on. Everybody's trying to reach for the football, get him on the ground. It would have been 4th down. It would have been a punt. They would have had some time left on the clock. Maybe it would have been a bad punt. They were way back on the other side of the goal line. It could have been a short punt. They could have had a chance to kick a field goal. But so they blew it twice. And then at the end of the game, they were kind of fussing at midfield. I'm thinking, where was that fight during the game? Forget fighting after the game. Where was the fight during the game?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I was disappointed in Arkansas. I was disappointed for Arkansas that I know they fumbled the ball, and that happens, but it shouldn't happen at the end of the game when you're trying to just move closer for the winning field goal. Wrap the ball up and fall down if you have to, because you're right within 10 yards of the touchdown. You can get an easy field goal. But they fumbled, and they still had the chance. We're in good position. It was 3rd and long. Couldn't get the quarterback on the ground. That should not happen, especially when you have them wrapped up 5 yards and he drags everybody. Yeah. That was rough. That was a rough loss for Arkansas.
Oh, that's pretty rough. Now let's talk about the Clemson game, because we have, as a matter of fact, I've got emails coming in about that right now. You can dinging off. And a lot of folks are upset about the Clemson game.
Yeah, Clemson giving up a lot of yards the first half. I think 300 yards. So defensively, they're failing. And offensively, Don, you have a 3rd-year quarterback. This should be a strong season for you on that side of the ball, and they can't score points. They're having trouble. So it's offensively and defensively, they're not playing very well, and consequently, that's their 3rd loss already. And they have very difficult games remaining within the conference, Atlantic Coast Conference, and then they have to play South Carolina at the end of the year as well. That's always a big battle. Mm-hmm. So Clemson's in trouble. I think Dabo, I can't put my finger on it exactly. They're claiming that because he doesn't take a lot of transfers, so maybe there's not enough talent. But I think over the years, Clemson's the type of team recruited well, and they develop players, but for some reason, they're not jiving together offensively and defensively, especially when you have a 3rd-year quarterback who was on all the preseason All-America teams. He's just not any quarterback. I mean, he's a quarterback that's been looked at as possibly the maybe All-American quarterback, maybe the 1st team, 2nd team, 3rd team, but he's one of the top quarterbacks, and you can't score points. So they have some serious issues that they have to turn around here quickly. They could end up with a couple more losses. Could have 5 losses this year. Could, easily.
What will that do for Dabo? Do you think he'll remain the coach?
I think he would, but I think there's probably a conversation with the administration at this point, because, Don, in this world where you can't afford to have the program take a huge drop like they're doing right now, because Clemson's usually a playoff team. Yeah. Usually in the playoff or contending for the ACC championship or both. So you have a discussion. Okay, Dabo, what is your view of why you didn't perform up to your standard with a 3rd-year quarterback? And you had good recruits all these last few years. What happened? So I think there would be a discussion with the athletic director and try to revive the program and figure out moving forward, what do we need to do on the personnel side? Did we have good coaching? Did we select the wrong players? Did we not develop them enough? Do you think we need to go out into the transfer portal and acquire talent by offering them the name, image, and likeness money? What do we need to do to turn around where we're getting better performances? I mean, that's losing by double digits at home, Don. It wasn't a 1-score game. The game was over. I mean, 2 minutes left on the clock. It's over because you have to score twice. Not enough time. So it wasn't like it was a close ball game. Yeah.
Let's go into a commercial break and a little bit more about the SEC when we come back. So we'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show and radio talk show, because now you can find us on Classic Country 92.9 FM WZLA. They are in Abbeville, South Carolina, and the only local yokel around. So we're real proud to be part of that team as well. You can find us on television, on syndication. That's through Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. All the social media sites as well. I have AP Sedum with me right now, and he does exclusive coverage of the SEC. And I'm going to tell you what, South Carolina is dragging you into that area too.
Right, yeah, South Carolina, they're in a bind here because they're struggling to get some wins, so they've got to turn it around quickly. They already have a couple couple of losses within the conference. Vanderbilt beat them at home by a big score. I think that was 31-7 prior week. And then they lost again 29-20 to Missouri on the road. So South Carolina has to get it going because it can be a really long season for them. Disappointing season, I might add.
Let's talk about your show, AP as we see it, and your discussions from last week, and then what you're looking forward to this week.
Yeah, last week we had Donna, here's a game we didn't discuss so far. We had the sideline reporter for Tulane, Matty Hudak, and Tulane, they were only I think a 10 or 11 point underdog to Ole Miss, but Ole Miss had a fabulous game on offense, Donna. 45-10, they beat Tulane. And the interesting story about Ole Miss, Donna, was they have this quarterback from Ferris State. Some of your audience may not even know, where is Ferris State? Well, that's a school in Michigan, Division II. Division II. It's not an FCS, which is above Division II, and it's not an FBS, which is the SEC, those types of schools. It's a couple levels down, and he was a great quarterback there, won a championship, beat Valdosta State in the title game by a big score, threw for about almost 3,000 yards, 1,000 yards rushing. And I asked Lane Kiffin last week during the teleconference, where did you find him? He said his staff have all these video players around the country, specifically quarterbacks he was searching, and he found him and brought him on campus. Donna, he's had 400, think about this now, I'm going to say this twice, 400 plus yards, 2 games in a row, 400 plus yards, 2 games in a row, total offense from a Division II quarterback. He's substituting for Austin Simmons, who's injured, who was supposed to be a bright star for Ole Miss. They brought in a second string quarterback from Division II, 400 plus yards in the last 2 games. One was against Arkansas, and one was against Tulane. 2 good, 2 programs capable of winning those ball games. Yeah.
You just proved my point, because I've said this for years. A lot of the smaller schools are being overlooked. You've got some hidden gems out there in some of the smaller colleges.
Right. And if you can evaluate talent, this is what I always say. All these schools, Donna, SEC, they all have money. They complain they don't have any money. They have plenty of money. Who should receive the money? If you can figure out in your evaluation process the type of players that can win in the SEC, you're ahead of everybody. And Ole Miss figured out that this quarterback, Division II, overlooked, he can win in the SEC, and not only win, he's putting up numbers that are as good or better than anybody.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about Vanderbilt just a little bit, because I'm going to tell you what,
Vanderbilt.
Polls is what I say.
I have them in my poll, my top 16 poll, the Football Writers Association of American National Football Foundation Super 16 poll. They've been in my top 16. But anyway, Vanderbilt, Donna, as we said last week, they were playing Georgia State, a team that upset them last year. They only played one time in that series, and Georgia State held the lead with the 1 victory. They beat Georgia State this weekend, Donna, 70-21. 70 points they put up, 10 touchdowns. So they had the leave no doubt mentality. Mm-hmm. Then this time we're not toying with the Georgia State. We remember last year and you beat us fair and square, but this year we're a different team, and they've won 70-21. This week, Donna, they play Utah State, a team that they should probably beat. So Vanderbilt's looking to move to 5-0, Donna. 5-0 at Vanderbilt. And that's 1 victory away from the bowl. Of course, they have bigger goals than just playing in a bowl game. So they should be 5-0 by the end of this week after they play Utah State in Nashville. So that's got to be as excited as Vanderbilt has been as a program in decades.
So why are they not higher up in the polls on everybody's polls?
I think they're waiting for them to play more teams of substance, Donna. I think they beat South Carolina. That was a big victory. Yeah. I mean, 31-7 in Columbia, South Carolina. So that was significant to me. If they won the game, it would have been fine. But 31-7. So I think they're just waiting for them to get into the conference schedule and see if they beat within the conference. I think
makes sense.
They will shoot up on the polls. I think if they start winning, they win a couple of games there. They already won 1. They win a couple more in the conference, yeah. So their schedule, Donna, let me see if I can just look at that quickly here. After the Utah State game, Donna, they can make their mark again as they did last year. They're traveling to Tuscaloosa, Alabama to play Alabama.
Ooh. That's going to
Yeah,
be a big game right there.
right. So yeah, if they can play them tough, and then after that they have a week off, then they host LSU. So those are two big teams in the conference. They win either one of those, they're going to be their presence will be felt in the poll.
Think they'll be as high as the top 10 yet if they
Not
do
yet.
pull that one off.
I would say if they were able to beat Alabama and LSU, I would put them in the top 10. Why not? That's South Carolina, Alabama, LSU. Sure, I would put them in the top 10. I would.
Mm-hmm. So who is your top 10?
Yeah, the top 10 we have Donna, and I voted this week. Penn State is number 1. That's been my pick since the beginning of the preseason. Georgia number 2, Ohio State, Oregon number 4. I have Texas number 5, and I think I could probably move somebody else at number 5, but I have Texas there at the moment. I want to see them compete against a better team. You know, they played Ohio State, real top team, to the 7 on the road, which is impressive because like I say, Ohio State's number 3 on my list. But let's see what Texas does in the next couple of weeks. So that's my top 5: Penn State, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas. And Texas on their schedule, Donna, they will travel to Gainesville, Florida this week. Now, Florida will give them a ball game because they have some talent, but that's a good road test for them. It's not one of the top teams in the conference. And then they have to play Oklahoma and Dallas. So they're going to find out about their team in the next 2 weeks because they are on the road in Gainesville, and then they have the neutral site in Dallas against their biggest rival. One of their biggest rivals, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. So where are you putting Alabama? I know Alabama had coming up.
Right. Alabama is number 15 in my poll, Donna. Alabama's number 15 in my poll. Tennessee's number 13. Oklahoma number 12. Ole Miss number 11. Texas A&M number 9. LSU number 6. Those are the SEC teams in my top 16 because my polls, the Football Writers National Football Foundation is only a top 16.
So which game are you looking forward to this coming weekend?
Yeah, this coming weekend, Donna, the biggest game on the schedule.
But which one would you not miss? You would miss a pizza for that one.
Right. I think the Alabama at Georgia game. That's probably the biggest game on the schedule. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest games nationally. It's right up there in the top 2 or 3 games for the country. So Alabama at 3-1, 0-0 in the conference, and then Georgia is 3-0 and they're 1-0 in the conference. So they're meeting, and that's going to be a big ball game because, like I said, I still believe Georgia's a team to beat until they're dethroned. I have them above everybody in the Southeastern Conference. They're running the ball more effectively this year. They have better pass receivers that are catching the ball. Gunnar Stockton is a quarterback. He showed that he's capable of having a big game, throwing for over 300 yards as he did against Tennessee and Knoxville, put 40-plus points on the Volunteers to win that ball game in overtime. So Georgia and Alabama should be a very competitive game. It's huge for Alabama because they already have the 1 loss down. If they sub for another loss, it'd be 2 losses. That means they'd have to go undefeated the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Okay. How can everybody find you, AP, on AP As We See It? You know, you got South Carolina watching you.
Yeah. We're on our YouTube channel every week, AP As We See It on our YouTube channel. And we're on local radio stations. They can check their dial. And they're also on Spotify. The audio is on Spotify every week. That's archived as well. So we're on their Facebook at AP As We See It, X account, and also the Instagram. We always put our links on there, Donna, of our show. And then if we covering a ball game, we have the photos and the post-game interviews as well. So you can find those on our social media platform, AP As We See It.
AP, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. And thank you guys so much for watching. AP, hang around so we can get you scheduled for next week. We'll see you guys later. Continue sending emails, okay? Donna@donnasedge.com. Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday. Beginning at 1 p.m. as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always a fun ride. You can find us syndicated on television. That's Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. It's a good way to find us. And also, we're new to the radio again. So glad to be with Classic Country, and that's WZLA 92.9 FM, located right here in Abbeville, South Carolina. Great station. So glad to be part of that network. You can also continue to find us on all of the social media sites, including Facebook, X, all of them, YouTube, the whole works. So thank you again so much for watching any way that you possibly can. The show is all about you, and that's why I can encourage you to continue to send emails. You're not bothering me whatsoever. Donna@donnasedge.com. That's Donna@donnasedge.com. So how do we do it ourselves? If I can do it, you can. I'm just telling you. So I kept looking at my countertop. And the countertop was in my bathroom, and it's in great shape. Okay, it had this old Formica countertop, and not a scratch on it. It just had this really earthy color. Okay, and it's been there probably since the 1960s. Again, in great shape, no damage to it. Just needed a facelift kind of sorts. So I went on ahead and I thought, well, I'm going to go on ahead and do this myself. So I found this really neat kit where you can put a countertop and make it look like stone. And I may have some pictures. Let me see if I can find some. Oh, right here. Okay, so this is the before picture of my countertop. And I've got some videos. I'm going to let you see those. Are really short videos and let you see how I put this together. So there it is. Okay, in its entirety. By the way, I love the tiles there. They're absolutely fantastic. Got to get those things cleaned up. But this is what the countertop looked like. Now, there were a few little scratches on it. The people who owned the house since the 60s, since it was built, took good care of it. Again, it just needed a facelift. So there it is. You go from the before, and so this is the after. So people who are looking at it say, that really looks like marble. So if I can do it, I definitely know that you can do it. So what I want to do is show you a couple of, there's 5 short videos, and then we're going to talk about other things you can do and what not to do as a do-it-yourselfer in the kitchen, okay? So I'm a firm believer you can save money, you can do it yourself. I think we probably saved a good couple of $1,000s by my buying this less than $100 kit to do that with. So here we go. Okay, so this is the next project. What I'm working on right now is my bathroom sink. As you can see, it has some kind of Formica something on it. And what we had really planned on doing was just taking the countertops up and then, just replacing it with marble or something. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I started looking at this countertop. Really, the only thing I can find wrong with it, there are some stains on here. And, it looks like the folks who lived here liked coffee kind of like I do. So it's in great shape. I don't see any cracks, and it's made really well. Now, this house was built in the 1960s, back when they built houses, and they were proud of what they built. So I'm thinking I'm just going to wait a couple of years, go on ahead and do a quick fix, and I think this is the solution. So I found this. It's Rust-Oleum Home, and it's a marble countertop kit. Now, I did some kitchen cabinets with something kind of like that, and put this acrylic topping on it, and I'm just going to tell you, it worked great. It worked great. Now, the key to doing something like this, and the reason I think mine lasted and still lasts this long, is because I cleaned it really well. Now there'll be something, even the cleanest of houses, there's going to be something on it. You just want to make sure that everything is off. I even found a little flick of paint back here, and I went on ahead and scraped that off. Now I've used this old scraper, and the reason I'm using this old one is it is going to scrape. Even with the dull blade, this is going to scrape anything off of this counter. I don't want anything on it. I'm talking no old dust, no old hairspray, no old anything. I want all of that stuff off. So when I get finished with that, I'll let you see what it looks like And then also right around the sink, right here, I'll put some of the tape on there, painter's tape. And again, let me get this thing cleaned real good, and then I'll put the painter's tape and we'll be right back. So I cleaned and I re-cleaned. I wanted to make sure this thing was spotless. Again, see, I use hairspray. And other things, if you're using, say, air fresheners and stuff like that, and I use the sprays because I use, like real plant sprays, because I believe I have to be totally natural about everything I do. So I did give it a good scrubbing. Now the kit also came with a cleaner, okay? And so you just put that on the countertop and then you cleaned it off. But I did my initial with the scraper just to make sure I had any old paint. There was one little thing of paint on it. So I did go ahead and take care of that. So let's go ahead and look at the next video. Okay, so I have tape rounded just to make sure it doesn't get on the wall. I love the tile, by the way. I'm so glad they used this color back in the day. And also, you got a rounded area, such as the sink, like that. Well, I found a real easy way to do that because, and I'll just give you an example with the tape, okay? So, you tear off a piece, it's square, but yet you have a rounded area, like right up in here, right up in this area. Right there, see? But I want it to be completely clean around this area when I tear it off, and I mean absolutely no showing of this sink right here. Okay, I found a way to do it. So going ahead and just put strips, and this is what I did. So you'll just put strips. Now it's going to take a bunch of them. It's a long process, but believe me, it's worth it. So you'll just put those strips around and then just connect the strips. Then what you'll do is find a really sharp paring knife. This is the one I use for apples, so this is a real good one. And then what you'll do is get that knife, and you'll just use it, and you'll go around that edge. Okay? Just like that. Then all I've got to do is go right here and lift this part, and you'll see how that tears. So notice you have to work with it. Okay, there we go. And then it just tears and makes a good, clean edge. See how that does? But they use painter's tape when you do this because it's a lot easier when you use painter's tape. So anyway, this gives me a real good, clean edge. I'll go ahead and put the primer on, and then I'll be back with you in just a few minutes. The primer is the key to it. That's going to hold everything together. But now I've seen people do this before, okay, where they didn't completely clean. That's step number one. And they didn't completely clean. They put the primer on. After a while, it starts fleeking up and it starts looking really ugly. So again, key, you got to clean, then you got to do prime. Okay, so this is the next one. Okay, guys, so this is the Rust-Oleum product. It's a countertop coating. And it comes with a base coat. We're about to put that on. The first thing you want to do, though, is clean it like crazy. And that's what I did. This is one of my favorite cleaners. It's awesome. You get it at the Dollar Tree. It's really inexpensive. So I did that first. Then I did a second cleaning. And that's with this product that comes with the Rust-Oleum. It's a heavy-duty cleaner. And I'm just telling you, this stuff works. Okay, make sure you're using gloves, by the way, when you're doing all this cleaning, okay? And so it is squeaky clean, and there's a few little marks on that you can see on the countertop where they spilled coffee or something on that in the past, and nothing wrong with that. I have to have my coffee every day too. Okay, so what we're going to do now, everything is dry, and it's squeaky clean. I mean, you can just hear the squeaks on that. And so now I'm going to go ahead and use this. It's the countertop coating. It's a white tint. It's a base coat. And it needs to set for at least 4 hours, but I'm going to do it now and let this stuff set all night. Okay? So give me time to do that, and I'll be with you bright and early in the morning. We'll go ahead and see what we can do to get this thing all fixed up. Oh, by the way, that's the gray tinting. So you paint first, use the gray veining next, and then we'll finish up with the top coat. See you later. That's all there is to it. Now, if you have a dark countertop, let's say it was blue or black or whatever, you may have to put 2 or even 3 layers of the the bottom coating on it. So I just wanted to mention that to you as well. Let's go ahead and look at another. I told you they're really quick videos, so let's go ahead and look at another one.
Okay, so we have let the base coat dry. It needs to be thoroughly dry. And the instructions say a couple, 3 hours, but I let it dry overnight. So I've already started the veining process. And I'm going to show you how easy this is. Just let the creative you come out. Okay, what I've done, this is the veining paint. The easy way to do it, to me, is put just a little bit in a lid. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm getting it's got to be a very thin artist paintbrush, okay? And you don't have to be an artist to do this. I mean, you just think of nature. And if you were a vein running through marble, what would you look like? So let's just go ahead and just use one for example. Okay, so I'm going right here, and I'm going to, look, this is all you do. You just go and kind of twist your brush and just let it go like this. Let nature take its course. That's all you've got to do. Now, if you're going ahead and take a look, go to Google or whatever your search engine is, and just look at veins on marble. And that's where you'll get your idea. And remember, it's nature, so it's not perfect. Okay, now another thing that I've noticed with everything I've seen, when I Googled and just looked at the comparison, and then I have some marble pieces here too, you'll always see something that kind of goes out to the edge, kind of like right here. We'll go ahead and just pick this one. Okay, so you'll see something that almost meets. You're twisting the brush, and there you go. And that's going to make that pattern. This will look like marble when we're finished with it. Now, I'm not going to go like all over the whole thing. I don't want too much of a vein, but I do want some veins. Now, another thing you can do is use water. If you're going to do that, I kind of look like the way this looks. I'm not going to water mine down, but just a little spray bottle, put it full of water, and you can always spray on it to make it look different as well. You don't have to buy the kit. I'll just tell you something you can definitely do. Get primer and put it on your countertop, and then just get gray paint. Okay, now give it time to dry, of course, and then I would do an entire night. Let it just do the night, okay? And then the next day, be an artist and just make your veins. That's all you got to do. Okay, now when I'm finished with this, I'm going to let this stay overnight as well. Then I'll go ahead and put the top coat on it, and that's when you're really going to see the beauty shine through. But thanks for watching.
When you put that top coat on there, it's going to give it kind of a 3D effect. And it's really going to, it's going to open up and be so beautiful. Your friends are going to come over and see this, and they're going to be amazed. So this is the last video, and then we'll have to go into a commercial break, then we'll come back.
Okay, guys, the finished product. Just wanted to show you how this looks. It really does have that marble look to it. I'm really pleased with the way this thing turned out. It is just, see there? Now I'm going to go ahead and push it back just a little bit so you can kind of get a better idea of what it looks like. It was very easy to do. Again, I'm pleased with this. I think it turned out great. Let me know what you think. Send a message if you'd like. Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. Let me know what you think.
It turned out great. So the next project is going to be Phil's bathroom and Mother's bathroom. So I'm going ahead and do theirs. And then I'm going to work on the kitchen. Now the kitchen has a darker countertop because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to use the bottom coat. Probably have to put 2 or 3 layers on that one. But I still have a lot of the stuff left over from the kit. The kit was somewhere around $60, something like that. So the cost basically was my time in the kit. And I really didn't put that much time into it. So I just did my thing and let it rest. That's all I did. Let's go into a commercial break. We're going to return in just a few minutes.
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show where truth matters. Thank you again so much for watching every day beginning at 1 p.m. You're going to be able to find us Saturdays at WZLA Radio that's located right here in our wonderful town of Abbeville, South Carolina. It's 92.9, and it is classic country. If you like the old country stuff, I'm in it. So there you go. That'll be 9 o'clock on Fridays. Otherwise, you can find us on television, syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. We're there all the time and all the social media sites as well. We're talking about how to do it yourself. And you can do it. If I can, I know you can. And you saw the before picture again of the countertop, and then there's the after pic of what it looks like. I'm very pleased. And I just think it turned out really good. And there's something that there's a simple, it's accomplishment, something that you do. You set a goal and you decide to get it done, and it can make your life a better world. Now, we found this house, got a great buy on it. And the bones of this house are awesome. So it was special built. Someone had it built in the 1960s. And so basically what we've done in this house is just it's cosmetic stuff. So we've done a lot of painting, and I love to paint. As a matter of fact, we have a sunroom. I'm going to let you go through step-by-step process of that with me too. And on the sunroom, what we're going to do is have windows put in in the sunroom, and then that's going to be used as a craft room, and I'll also be broadcasting some shows from that room as well. So I'm going to have two places, really a lot of places here, because we've got 8 acres that I also broadcast out of as well. Now let's talk a little bit about doing it yourself. It can be overwhelming, because especially if it's going to be a huge job. I promise you, every job you have is not going to be near as dreadful and as horrible as you think it's going to be. But planning is the first step. Now, make sure you got plenty of time to do this, okay? Because I knew the countertop from doing it before. I knew that it was going to be a step-by-step process. It's not something I can go in ahead and put the primer, then paint. I've got to let each step dry before I can have the other step. Now, I found this on doityourself.com. I love this website. It's just full of all kinds of free things that you can pick up on. And I'm just telling you, do your own research and you'll be able to find all kinds of ways to save money. Another way, before I did the first countertop ever a few years ago, I studied YouTube videos. Phil and I both, we just sat down and just did a splurge on how to do these countertops, because I'm just telling you, anything now does not have complete instructions to it. No longer does that happen. So we were just looking for simple do-it-yourself. Okay, let's go ahead and dig in, doityourself.com. And how do you start a project? Got a plan for it. And this is what they say: before any appliance or wall is removed, put your pen and paper to create a thorough plan. Planning is what it's all about. Phil has his own book. It's just a book on different projects that he's done, and he likes to set goals and get those projects done. And then when he gets one, it's just a sense of accomplishment. We did it. And we saved money in the process of doing it ourselves. Now, some things you can't do. There's no way I'm going to tackle the windows. First of all, they're too heavy. And I'm not a dude, so I'm not going to be able to help Phil if he wants to put windows in. So I decided to go ahead and hire that out. But other things, you can do it yourself and save so much money. A project plan involves several steps. So you got to think them through. You got to write them down. That's what we do. And you can use a software computer program if you want to do that. Just to help yourself stay organized. So what we did before we moved here, we come in here and we just stayed the weekend. And so we just wrote down a list of all the different things we wanted to do. And now this is gardening time too. Okay, so that took away some of the remodeling time that we had here. No, we didn't completely stop remodeling, because like on rainy days and stuff like that, when I couldn't be outside in the garden, we just did a few things inside the house. Now it's a big house. Now when and again, we got a great deal on it. By adding the sunroom in and putting windows around it and making a actual room out of it, the house now is over 3,000 square feet. So it's big enough. Mother can have her space, she can have what she wants to do, all those things. And then Phil and I have our space as well. The entire downstairs is the studio. And then we have the living room, and the kitchen is upstairs. And then we also have a formal room that you come into. Now, the dining room and the den are the same room. It's just one big, huge, I like big open spaces, so we didn't have to tear down walls. None of that. Like I said, this was built the way I would have built a house. Now we have the third floor is a split level, tri-level house. The third floor is all the bedrooms are up there. Bathrooms, that kind of thing are down there as well. But I wanted to redo, again, my countertops, because when people come in for interviews, they come here to the studio. First thing they'll look for is something to drink and go to the bathroom, right? So I wanted to make sure that my bathroom was like spot on. All right, so we talked about planning. If you have to get a general contractor out to help you do things like the windows, we're not going to do the windows in the sunroom. And so you got to plan for that too, okay? And the cost of things have went dramatically up. So that's just the way it is. Now, you want to start with a list that can be like your flooring, counters like we did, the appliances, the sink, the faucet, windows, exhaust fan, paint, lighting, and all other essential components of your remodel. So price them out as accurately as you possibly can and put those in your budget. Now also factor in permits if you have to get that done. I'm out of the city limits, didn't have to worry about that. But permits and inspections. Now the planning stage is the most important part because it really brings reality into focus. If you walk into the project with nothing but a dream, you're almost certainly going to blow up your budget. I'm just telling you. And you're also going to create some huge headaches. All right, the project should also include timelines. We've done that. Figure out goals to have each aspect of the project done. Now, life's going to happen, okay? I had to get the garden, had to get a bunch of tomatoes gathered in, and the beans and all those things from the garden. I also raise herbs, so I wanted to dry some herbs. Some of that time had to be factored in. So I didn't get it done as quick as I wanted the countertop done, but I did get her done. Okay. Now this lays out the expectations. If you have a contractor coming in and other workers, plus you can get your supplies and you can get your appliances delivered during the proper timelines. Because next project is going to be working on Phil's workshop. Now we've already got the heating and cooling in there for him. Now with my sunroom, had to, because it had nothing, it was just a sunroom. I think it used to be a carport at one time. And then the folks, thank God they did this. They built on, it has like screen in. So I didn't want the screens because I want to be there in the wintertime and I'm cold natured. So we had to get the windows put in. You had to figure out something for heating and cooling. And we found a really good price on an air conditioner. And it's also a heater. And it's adding 400 more square feet there, a few feet off maybe, but it's adding that to the house. And so we were looking for something. I didn't want to put the heating and cooling and because that's something expensive to do. So I didn't want to add that. So decided to go with one of those air conditioners. And we've got that in Phil's workshop. It works. Okay, now let's talk about the budget because that's the biggest reason people don't do projects. Don't deflate the budget. Now, we talked a little bit about the budget just a few minutes ago, but that line item budget should be as accurate as possible. And make sure you don't look at old data on the internet, okay? Because things have went quite up in price over the past few years. One of the most common mistakes homeowners make is underestimating how much a kitchen remodel would cost. So commonly it goes something like this. They see a kind of cabinet that they like and they launch into the process of replacing them. Since the countertops need to be removed, they decide to install new counters. Okay, then they decide it's a good time to upgrade the appliances and it just goes on and on and on. That's not the most effective or budget-friendly way to approach a kitchen remodel. Now, you're planning for a remodel, so your budget may not be complete or you fail to see the gap between the product and the good price and the type of quality of product that you want. Get the best quality that you can afford. Don't put the cabinets on the budget until you decided they are the ones you'll be buying. That way you want to end up upgrading while considering the effect on the budget. So this is what we did for the kitchen remodel. Okay, I did not want new kitchen cabinets, and let me tell you why. These cabinets, quality. Okay, now from the 60s, okay, so there's going to be grime. There's going to be dirt on them. I mean, it's just the way it is. The cleanest housekeeper, after 50 years, you're going to have to remove some dirt and grime. So we did. We did that first. So we got them all cleaned and looked kind of bad. As a matter of fact, I thought, man, have I messed up? Probably should just left it alone because it looked pretty bad because we use like really good cleaning products to do it. Make sure you wear a mask and all those things too, by the way, because and I can't breathe. I have asthma. So there were times I would have to take the mask off, go outside so I could, breathe. But anyway, factor that in. Safety comes first. So Phil painted, I wanted to paint it. I didn't want stark white. I didn't want all white. So we have white top countertops. And then I got this really neat looking, it's kind of a bluish gray bottom. And it just so happened I didn't have to buy the new handles because they fit in exactly with the theme I was looking for. And so it's almost makes you think of the beach. It makes you think you're at Cape Cod or something. It's just the different colors that were used. Got big windows and all that factored in as well. But I saved a ton of money in the kitchen because I had good quality cabinets. Had to be clean. Yep, had to put some work into it. But after that, painting it, it looks like a total brand new kitchen. And then I'm going to do the countertops just like I did for the bathroom next. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for going on this journey with me on the countertops. If you do some of the countertops, let me know. Send me pictures, Donna@donnasedge.com. Let me know how it worked. I showed you the simple way to do it, Donna@donnasedge.com. Thank you so much for watching.